Welcome to Network Today. I'm Cheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
And we're here to help take you from meeting people to
making money.
Right? It's the end result for all of us. So we're going to keep the boss man or woman or person happy, right? Whoever that person is that's over you. And it might be you, right? We might be trying to keep you happy.
I'm thinking about keeping me happy.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because the reason that this show is the show is because relationships are all about the outcome of networking. But networking can be the long game, and we want to shorten that long game with these tips and tools, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so important. I think sometimes, again, one of the distractions that we talked about last week was that we lose the purpose of why we're networking. And we're out there meeting a lot of good people, making new friends, having a great time. But we got to pay the bills.
That's right. I wasn't intentional. I didn't listen to anybody. I didn't do any follow-up. So this is all about the focus. That is this episode. Is this a bad word for you?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it a bad word, Rob?
Well, I mean, focus, with being my type of personality, it's hard to do. And you don't think about it and you avoid it, which I love to do, avoid things that I can't do well. But focus, the only way you can get better at any skill set is the ability to concentrate.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And let's keep the distractions at bay to the best of our ability, kind of manage those, don't let them manage us, and therefore be focused. And then you'll find you're more productive. I mean, good focus directly relates to productivity, don't you think?
Oh, no, absolutely. And we've got to kind of create that optimum balance, as well, is that we just can't stay focused on one thing all the time. And we've got to learn what that balance factor is.
Yeah. Because you have to care about the person genuinely.
Right.
But then you have to care about the end result ultimately, right? So they both have to work genuinely in tandem. If you have not gone to the other episodes, so we have go to networktodaydfw.com and you can sign up for the email, be on our Network Today Nation, and then you're going to have access to all those cool episodes previous to this one and more.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I can't stress that enough is, to go back because again, I love the comparison of football is because those guys, these are, you take the top athletes from college, they go into the professional NFL, they still got tons of coaches. They're still learning every single day. They're in the classroom. They're studying. And these are the best at what they do.
Yeah.
And so here we are. And networking, I think, I know you believe the same thing, Cheryl, is networking is such a powerful tool for small business owners. And it's a way to expand and grow our business. So we've got to learn this skill set.
Yeah. I'm going to, with that said, spotlight a business owner we both know that I'm just so impressed with. Jerry, right?
Right.
So he owns Diamond Blue Air, and he was a CPA and bought this firm right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I want to say it was early 2020. And he had to reinvent himself because do CPAs love to network? Not typically. So I don't think it was really in his DNA. Yet he gets out there and he makes it happen. He has forced himself to work the system and to stick with it long enough that he's getting referrals now.
Well, it's funny thing. I just left Jerry's office a couple hours ago.
Oh, hey.
And that was one of the things we were talking about. And he talked about how it was uncomfortable for him when he first started.
Yeah.
But that is something he does daily. And that's part of gain focus where you've got to be consistent.
Yep.
And disciplined on this. And that's a great example.
Yeah. Came into this market from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he's, trying to get to know the market, trying to get to know HVAC, trying to figure out how to network. And he's stuck with it. I'm just so proud of him. I
really am. And again, just a quick little story too, is that I was looking for an HVAC guy, hired his company a couple of weeks ago. He sent out one of his techs. And what he told me today was he sent the tech out without saying, hey, take really good care of this customer. He's a networker. He's a friend. He just said, here's your next call. And tech comes out and just did an A+ job. I mean, it was outstanding, great service, just exactly what Jerry talks about in his networking, and it was awesome.
Wow, I love that. So that is all about focus. It is a real great case study of focusing in on the things you don't like to do.
Yeah.
Right. So he stuck with it, and now he's getting referrals and Rob's business.
Yeah.
So now you reviewed him on Google Maps, right? Did you do that?
No, I did not.
Okay. That's a tip I'm learning.
No. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I don't normally do that, but Jerry's, I did.
Okay.
I did it because the only reason I remember, Google sends you a thing back saying, thank you for the review, so on. Yeah. Yes. So I did that. I was proud of myself. I finally did something right.
Yay. So that's awesome. So because networking can be tough, we love to focus on the successes. So that's Grand Slams, right? Our Grand Slam of the week. And that's coming up next.
A small business is still a business. At Purple Cow Branding, we want to help you execute your greatest visions for your company. Purple Cow works for small businesses that don't have big budgets to spend on their marketing efforts. Inquire now at purplecowbranding.com to be the biggest little guy around. Purple Cow Branding, much more than digital marketing.
Welcome back, and we're here to talk about our success stories, which we coin as our Grand Slams, like the things that we're knocking it out of the park because of networking, in this case, focused networking.
And I've got another good one.
Good. You lead off.
Okay, so this goes back to joining the Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce. And we intentionally work hard at working the events at the Chamber and giving our time for the Chamber. And what we do, the great Purple Cow team, the camera crew, we shoot the ribbon cuttings. And then we post them on the Chamber website, which again, the Purple Cow team did that as well. But what we also do is, so last couple weeks ago, we got a call from one of the companies. It's a Century World. They needed a new website. And because we had created that relationship with them when we did the filming, and then with what the team did with Kinsey and Kate and Ashley out there, they formed relationships with those people of saying, how can we help you? And this is an incredible organization helping young kids, autistic kids, that can't really cope in the public schools. They're doing something that's unbelievable. And they're growing. And they just needed to update their marketing, their website, and so on. And again, I'm just really proud of the Purple Cow team of how they, again, intentionally built those relationships, showed how can we help you. And then we got a call a couple of weeks ago from the president saying, we'd like you guys to bid on our new website.
Awesome.
So it was a really cool story.
That is a great one. And what a great cause, too.
Oh, great cause.
And it really speaks to your focusing in on the hard work and the long hours it can take to continually get yourself out there, get your team out there. Your team's amazing because of the leadership, and that, they're all falling in line with that same attitude of, hey, we're here to help you. And now it's not magic. It feels like magic, right? Yeah. But there was a lot of hard work that went into magic.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So mine is a focused networking story here, because one of the things that I've really learned to do over my networking years, because I used to do it totally wrong, right? When you meet somebody and you say, okay, so who do you work with? Like, what's your ideal client? Oh, I work with everybody. Anybody and everybody. And it's like, well, and we'd all like to say that because we don't want to feel like we're missing out on money. The truth is we're missing out on all the money because it's really hard to refer somebody like that.
Right.
The more specific you can get, the better your referrals. So that's why I'm saying if you can become more focused on who you want to meet, you will have more intentional, more focused introductions to other people. So I want to give a shout out to George Mayfield and to Paul Hittner, who both this past week have introduced me to two potential clients because of my telling them exactly who I wanted to meet. Hospitality, food and beverage, and then 1099 employment groups. So because I was super focused, George says, hey, I got somebody who's got a 1099 independent contractor group, employee group. So talk to them. And then Paul said, hey, I know this restaurant owner. Let's get you a meeting. And it's awesome.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
That's a great tip right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the more
focus.
That's
on
right.
what you do best.
Yeah, that's right. So again, it's just I'm at fault of this too, saying, "Oh yeah, I can do this and I can do this and I can look, I have more." Right? But the truth is, the more, and you might do a ton of different things, but for the purpose of networking and getting referrals, be zeroed in.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice.
Zeroed in, and then that ripple effect will begin to build on itself, right? And then you can expand, but really zero in on that very specific client. And I promise you, the referrals will come faster.
That's great tip.
Bam!
Out of the park.
Out of the park. That was a grand slam, Homer. So we have an amazing guest, as we always do, going to talk about focusing, and some of their tips I thought were really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Very enlightening.
Yeah, let's bring them on.
Okay. All right. Coming up next.
Are you having trouble with your VoIP phone system? Smart Office USA to the rescue. We're a local company here in DFW with real people, certified technicians, and we even come to your office to help you. Smart Office USA, representing the #1 VoIP phone system on the planet. And we are right here in DFW, ready to help you. Call us 214-272-0921 or go to www.smartofficeusa.com.
We've got another amazing guest who's going to talk to us about what I think he's all about. So the amazing George Mayfield, right? So founder of Frameworks Consulting, and just an amazing gentleman. His wife is lovely as well. They just come in a pair, but we got this part of the pair today because we're talking about focus, which is what you're all about. And if I were to like have somebody's picture next to the word focus in Webster's, it would be George Mayfield. So,
yeah. Well, he's the smart guy. And and that's why I think this is so appropriate. Focus on the solution.
Yeah.
Because George is, every time I talk with George, he's just so smart. I learn from him. And I think focus is the word for him.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Thanks, guys. Hope I can live up to that.
Game?
Yeah.
And so as we're talking about focus, and you're the founder of your company, and your company's been around how long?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years, right? So you've been through oh my gosh, I've got all these things going on. Not that would ever happen to you, Mr. Spreadsheet. But
it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday battle for everybody.
But being a fractional COO does mean that you help clients all day long, right? Focusing on the leaks in their business.
Yes.
So therefore, how would you explain being focused to entrepreneurs specifically? So those in the networking realm, how do you stay focused?
I'm a big believer that it all starts with your mission. So each person has their own personal mission, and then your company is going to have that mission. So if you're a business owner, those two missions need to jive, and you just need to run everything by your mission and just think of everything that you're doing, and does it align to where you're trying to go in life?
Okay. So tell me how, if somebody doesn't have those missions in place, how do you help somebody get those missions so they can get things aligned to get focused?
Everybody does have a mission. Sometimes you kind of have to pull it out of them. Okay. They've got certain likes, the things that they're drawn to, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of getting to know a person. And sometimes you have to say, I really think that this is your mission. And then they just kind of like, I guess you're right. Yeah, it is kind of my mission. And then eventually it kind of becomes their own words and their own mantra.
So if you don't know what your mission is, this would be a great time to reach out to George Mayfield. Right, on LinkedIn would be a great place to start. Mm-hmm. So talk about how you stay focused during an everyday, because you're pulled in a lot of different directions. You've had a family member who's been living with you that has some things going on. So how do you kind of compartmentalize all of that so that you can stay in revenue making mode when it's easy to get distracted?
Yes. There's always things that are pulling us in different directions. People are always asking for more of our time, whether that's through, volunteering or family members, and especially your business. But, when it comes to your business and your mission, focus on the things that are going to get you there. And in business, you need to focus on the things that are going to bring you revenue. So just keep those things documented and written out. And then whenever you're seeing things in black and white, it's a lot easier to say, these things are going to bring me revenue. These things are going to bring me closer to my mission. But these other things, those are kind of just squirrels that I need to kind of forget about. But I would say documentation and just constantly reviewing. I meet with my clients on a weekly basis to go over to-dos, go over KPIs, and we make sure that we stay focused.
George, what advice would you give someone in the networking community of, how they need to stay on track? We're salespeople, we're kind of scattered brained. What's the best advice to keep us centered?
There's a lot of power in the word no. And a lot of times we're told to be positive, but sometimes you have to cut things that aren't going to bring you closer to your mission. And as much as you like the person who may be asking you to do something, sometimes you just have to say no because you can't save everybody who's drowning. And sometimes if you're drowning yourself, you have to worry about your own things first.
Oh, that's great advice because, like this week, for instance, there's a ton of networking events going on. And again, my first reaction, yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. And I even told one of my good friends, Brooke, that I was going to meet her at an event. And I just finally, I couldn't do it anymore. I was wiped out. And so, that's great advice. I got to learn to say,
I saw that, Rob. No. I saw that. You came into the networking group like the Looney Tunes character, just spinning in and just spinning right back out.
That's a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Canada. That's right. So I have a question for you about staying focused as we wrap this up, right? We got another minute here. Staying focused at a networking event. Because this is one of the things that we touch on a lot. And I know I'm throwing you a curveball because I didn't throw this out to begin with. So just when you're walking into a networking event and there are a vast number of people, most whom you don't know, they're all across the room. How do you stay focused on making meaningful connections and walking away with a real to-do list of follow-up?
Absolutely. That's a really good question. We all go to networking events for a reason, that's to meet new people, or sometimes you're going there to meet somebody that you've met before and you really got to get in front of them again. So you've got to stay focused on that mission and, just make a list and make a mental list in your head. I guess supposedly you could have one in your pocket, just if you wanted to write it down and go check on it every once in a while and make sure you've checked everything off. But just make sure that you actually are there to, if you're there to meet 5 people, have you met 5 people? If you're there to talk to a specific person, have you met that specific person? Did you get some FaceTime with them? And not just going to a networking event and just kind of gravitate towards the people you always talk to and leave the event and you didn't get your goals.
Well, I think that's good. Rob, we haven't done this before, but this is going to be something new, only because I happen to know the Mayfields. Would you give us a little known fact about yourself?
Oh my gosh.
That people would go, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
So for the last 2 years, I've been learning Turkish.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
What in the world? That was not at all where, I knew where I wanted to this Turkish.
Yeah.
Good golly. Man, so
it's not expected. It's something different. And, learning a language just activates different parts of your brain and keeps you creative. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years.
Okay. So I thought it was going to be about his spiders.
Nope.
He's got an arachnid.
I do have that.
Yeah. collection. It's crazy. Wow, what a big brain you have. So, my gosh.
Planning a trip to Istanbul soon?
I would love to. When are we going?
Spider hunting. All right. Yeah. So George Mayfield wants you to connect with him on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So it is like it sounds, Mayfield, right? With Frameworks Consulting. Can't wait to have you back and bring your lovely bride next time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say bring some spiders.
Oh. Maybe both. Yeah. So, all right. I love the Mayfields, and it was so awesome to sit here and have a chat with George about how he stays focused, because he really is a brainiac, as you could see Learning Turkish, for crying out loud. On top of everything else that he does. Camping is another one.
Well, I like George. It's funny. I met George before I knew I met George, where he was working with a company doing some consulting work with, and I was trying to sell them something. But yeah, the thing about George is I love the concept of fractional COO, because that's what small business owners need.
Yeah.
We need to learn to run our businesses better. And we're out there networking and selling so much that, what his company does is just so important. So it was so great to kind of reconnect with George and learn what he does.
So it was a highlight of what he was talking about to stay focused that really struck a chord with you.
That's a hard thing for me to do because I'm all over the place. But I think it's just having purpose. When they were saying, setting the goal, writing it down. I mean, those are things that I've got to really concentrate and focus on is, having purpose, setting goals, writing them down.
Yeah. And I love the tactical component of going to a networking event because we're always talking about those and how to really know in advance before you walk in, put it on a little pad if you need to, on your cell phone notes, whatever, and say, this is what I came here to do. So before you leave, you've contacted that number of persons, you've made those meaningful connections, because that's how we take you from meeting people to making money faster.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, without that, again, without having that purpose, that goal, then what are you accomplishing?
Yeah.
We're just spinning our wheels. And I think what George focused on here again I think it's the number one thing we've got to do when we go to an event.
Yeah, yeah. And having conversations and everything, right? Yeah. So that was awesome. So glad to have George. Can't wait to have another discussion. You're smart. You're watching this. But did you know that 2 out of every 3 Americans will deal with a legal issue this year? Half of those will spend 13 days working on those issues. At Empowered Advantage, we help with the stuff of life. Letter M as in marvelous, poweredadvantage.com. Network Today, we're back and we're going to put a wrap on this. But before we do, we're going to give you a couple of key points on focusing that Rob, our wonderful little scribe, has put together. I love these bullet points. So tell me a couple of the favorite things that you believe people should concentrate on in their focus.
Well, I think my number one is just, having a purpose when you're in that moment. Whether you're getting ready to go to a presentation, a sales call. Big point here is when you're going to a networking event.
Yeah.
You got to focus. And before you step into the room, it's like you're out there in the parking lot and you're pumping yourself up. But then it's not just again pumping yourself up. You got to focus on, what do I want to accomplish?
Yeah.
What's my purpose?
Yeah.
Get the mindset right.
Yeah.
So that then I can go in with a clear mindset.
Yeah.
Of what I want to accomplish that night. So I think that's been a major thing that by studying this now, I'm going to start focusing. I'm going to stay in the parking lot in the car and get ready.
That way they're so long. Where's Rob? He's still in the car pumping himself up. That's right. So no, that's good. I was really thinking about this number 6 on your list, which is asking for what you want. And it really goes back to the referral grand slams that I said that I had this week. And I think the people that I really saw across the table from me when I was having one-on-ones that would ask me for specific things. Hey, Cheryl, before I came in here, to your point, before I came in here, I saw these people on your LinkedIn profile that if you know them, would you be open to referring them to me or connecting us? Right. That's an easy yes or no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, no, I don't know them. Or I do know them. Happy to at least make an introduction, right? Depending on how well I know them. And the other thing is making sure that you know who it is you're looking for. The radio girl in me says, identify your demographic. And we went through a lot of training. It was years of training to really help clients determine specifically who it was. I'm not talking about a woman who's 25 to 54 years old who makes, $82,000 a year. I'm talking about a woman who's 37, single in the suburbs with 2 kids, right? That's what I'm talking about. The more specific you can be, the more activated that audience will respond, right? Or the more activated they'll become and the easier they'll respond. And so that's what I say to you, just the more specific you can be on who you want to meet exactly, right? Whether by name or by industry, and why, how your services will help. I think that's gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Again, because what you've done here again is you've focused in, you're concentrating on what you need, how that person, and you're sort of instructing that person how they can help you.
Yeah.
And so, again, I love that technique.
One of the things too that I do, and I probably still don't do it perfect, but I keep working through it, to help people focus on the referral process or kind of exacerbating or extending that one-on-one discussion so that I can get better referrals. And this has been, I think, helpful. Not perfect again, but I follow up with a brief on my services. And it has 4 things that I'm looking for, right? 4 key phrases that people can listen to for a referral. And then just 1 sentence on my 6 core services. That's been really helpful for a lot of people. They say, wow, Cheryl, and I said, it's just for your back pocket, right? Because months go by and it's like, who is that Cheryl girl again?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember this. Powers is in Austin, but that's all I can remember. So then they can look me up and see that. So that's just part of that focus.
Yeah, I think that's great because I think that's one of the biggest sins of networking is that we get we see these people once a month, twice a month at networking, and we have no clue what they do.
That's right.
I mean, so to your point right here, yeah, we need to. I was just thinking of how I can maybe put that on my LinkedIn profile. So I'm gonna. That's a great tip. I'm gonna go look at my profile on LinkedIn and just see how I'm portraying myself, and it could be. A lot of times they're confusing. So that's a great point. Good tip.
I'm going to open this up to the Network Today Nation. So go to our LinkedIn profiles. Rob Bliss, as in happiness, is, and Cheryl Powers, as in Austin. So go to our LinkedIn profile, and I'm Cheryl with an S, in case you don't know, in case you didn't look. But go to our LinkedIn profiles, take a look at it, and message us.
Yeah.
Thoughts, comments, saying, hey, I'm still looking at this, and it still doesn't make sense to me, right? So that we can help. It's an evolutionary process. So, but the better you can help us focus, I think the more focused our profiles can be, and the faster we can elicit responses.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do because again, I probably wrote my profile on LinkedIn probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't changed it at all. And then with marketing and with the day and age, is that you have to kind of refresh.
Yeah.
I would probably, I think I read a tip on things saying at least once a year, you should do a refresh on your profile. So I'm a couple of years behind.
Yeah. And we talk about LinkedIn all the time. So I know. But hey, we're not here because we're perfect. We're here because we're working through the process and we're working through it with you. So we want to hear from you. info@networktodaydfw.com. That's the website. Please join the Network Today Nation by including your email address so you can get all sorts of cool stuff, including, and I don't say it enough, Josh, our network detective. I saw some of his footage. Amazing. He is so funny, and I can't wait for him to get out of school completely so we can have some more time with him. So you're going to get that as part of the Network Today Nation.
And let me leave you with a kind of a final question here, Cheryl, is why do you think that focus is a big part of networking and your success in networking?
Gosh, I should have pondered that while I was sitting in traffic today. I think because focus helps remove the distractions and gets me to the point faster, right? So without eliminating the relationship building component, right? So focus doesn't mean you're just saying, hey, you're not going for the throat in the sale, right? Focus means you just really determined to have a quality conversation with somebody, learn about them, and make sure that you're very specific about what they need to learn about you in order to refer you better. So you?
Great tip. I think to me, again, is just helping me concentrate better in the moment, knowing what my purpose there is, rather than, again, like I usually am, I'm just flying all over the place, saying hi to people and that, being Mr. Social kind of thing. What this lesson has really taught me today is, again, concentrate, have a purpose.
Yeah, that's good. Have a purpose. That's important.
All right.
And know your purpose. So we have got some on the website as well. Rob's Library. You've got some great.
We got Cheryl's monthly calendar.
Yeah, and tech tools. So I'm going to review tech tools as we go through that. Again, I'm not a techie, but I like to learn. And so take a look at these tools, use them, give me feedback and other tools I might need to use or consider because we need them. We need you. So, hey, thanks. Another great time, my friend.
All right.
I know. May Bucky meet my smile.
The happy networking.
That's happy networking. We'll see you next time.
This has been a Purple Cow production.